Hi everyone, welcome back. I hope you're all doing well. Today we are going to talk about luxury beauty, specifically luxury beauty that I really love, that I enjoy, and that I would repurchase again if I ran out of the product or if it disappeared from my collection. These are products that are worth it to me. I know worth is a subjective term, but I think one of the benefits of being a beauty content creator is that you do get to try a lot of different products. And so to me, these are products that stand out against the rest. And I know we're talking about luxury beauty, but I actually do have things here at a range of price points, from more affordable to pretty high end. So I want to say thank you to Violet Grey, who's sponsoring this video. All of these products are included in Violet Grey's Put It in the Bag sale. Most of these brands are 25% off, although they do have things in the sale that are up to 50% off. So of course I'll link everything below along with the terms and conditions. And the sale runs from today, May 23rd to May 29th. I'm also wearing a full face of my makeup favorites, so you'll see me mention those as well as show you demo and application of everything where I can. So I've got a little bit of everything. I have makeup, skincare, hair care, and fragrance. So let's get right into it. I'm gonna go actually alphabetically by brand. There's a new brand on the scene I finally have been able to try, and that's Ami Collet. The whole identity of the brand is that it's made for melanin-rich skin. So you'll see that, for example, with their base products, they list their deepest shades first, and then they go about up to like a medium skin tone. And I just really love the brand philosophy. I'm really happy to see them at Violet Grey. They have this really kind of minimal but fresh makeup style, very skin forward. So I've been able to try a couple of new things that actually Violet Grey sent over. The first is the thing that I most wanted to try, and this is their lip treatment oil. This comes in a few different shades. I have the shade Bliss, and this was love at first application. I immediately tore into this when I got the box. This is it feels like a liquid lip balm. It has a grippy quality, like it really stays on your lips. It's rich, but it's not sticky. Like it doesn't feel goopy on the lips, but it does feel like it's holding on and like actually infusing your lips with moisture. I also find that it smooths over lip lines, so it makes your lips look pretty plump. It's not too shiny. It's not like a super shiny gloss. And this actually gives you moisture over a good amount of time. It actually stays on, whereas some lip oils just kind of slip around and slide off. This does not do that. So I kind of want more shades of this. I've also been curious about their concealer. So this is called their, what is this called? Their Skin Enhancing Concealer. And I got their lightest shade, which is medium 2. And it is a bit deep for me right now. I knew that might be a risk, but I also wanted to share a review because I want to be able to include good options for deeper skin tones. So medium 2, I would say, is like, it's a pretty solid medium. For me, this is something I could use on like the perimeter of my face, or I know by summer or the end of summer, I'll be able to use it, but it feels really lightweight. It's almost like a creamy serumy concealer, and it has this like grippy quality to it. It's not thick at all. It spreads really nicely and it feels very skin-like, and it almost feels like, as I'm applying it to the back of my hand, like it's smoothing over the skin. It has this like velvety, grippy finish. So I definitely feel like this is a shade I'll be able to use more around my face, but I just wanted to provide a review because I want to make sure that my melanin-rich friends are included in my reviews. So I'm hopeful and optimistic about this formula, and I definitely want to try more from the brand. And they do carry a few other products from the brand, including their mascara, which I really want to try. They have a cream blush stick, they have a skin tint, they have a powder, so quite a few things from the brand, and you can do a full face of Ami Collet. Armani Beauty, you guys know, is one of my favorite beauty brands. They've been around for a long time and they really, really know complexion. And that's because Pat McGrath was at Armani Beauty when they came out with Luminous Silk Foundation. And it is and remains a cult classic. It's a foundation I can turn to for lighter coverage if I mix it in with a moisturizer or just use a little bit. Or I even have used this on special occasions, and it's just that beautiful. It's such a flexible coverage. I use the shade 5.9, and today you'll see I just applied it with my fingers. I honestly just kind of like smeared around my skin like a skin tint, and I didn't use a ton. I'm just able to get a really flexible coverage with it, and I find especially when I apply it with fingers, I get a really natural coverage, and I don't know exactly how, because I also like it with a sponge, I like it with a brush, but today I was just feeling lazy. And I feel like it turned out pretty good. So I love that. It's kind of a forever favorite. And I also love the Luminous Silk Concealer. This concealer's grown on me, but I feel like it actually really softens the eye area. So if you have like crepey skin, if you have, I mean, everyone has fine lines around their eyes. I feel like it's very, very forgiving. There's something about this that creates a bit of a filter around the under eye. I use the shade 5.75. And again, I just used my fingers with both of these today, and I think my base turned out pretty nice. Another favorite is the Armani Eye Tint. This is a liquid eyeshadow, but I think it's one of the most forgiving liquid eyeshadows on the market. My favorite shade is number 9, Cold Copper. It's forgiving because it's not overly pigmented. You see what I mean? It's not going to give you like intense pigment that you can't blend out or that's too bold. It's very daytime appropriate. This shade works with anything, any look, any outfit. But they have a bunch of shades of these too, and I think they're really beautiful and easy to use. One of my favorite skincare brands is Bioderma. There's so many things I love from them. I live by their micellar water. I use it pretty much all the time to remove my eye makeup before I go in with a cleansing balm or a cleansing oil. I just like having a dedicated eye makeup remover, and it's super effective. It doesn't sting my eyes. It doesn't do anything funny. And I do have pretty sensitive eyes, so it's something that I just keep on hand at all times. Another one of my favorites is their shower oil. I think of it as a cleansing oil for the body. It hydrates the skin as you're cleansing it. I love using it for shaving. I just find it's a really elegant cleansing experience. And I love that it doesn't leave a film behind, but my skin feels really softened and smooth and hydrated even as I'm leaving the shower before I put body moisturizer on. Next up is Chantecaille. You guys know I love Chantecaille. They're one of my favorite brands, and they're also a brand that I think have quite a few products that are quote unquote worth it to me. I really think you can't go wrong, but there are a couple things that I really love that I want to highlight just for the sake of brevity for this video. So a repeat purchase for me, and something that really changed my skin when I tried it, is the Jasmine and Lily Healing Mask. I've talked about this before. It's a white mask that you apply either as a leave-on treatment and then you wash it off, or I sleep with it on overnight. And there's just something about this. I don't know if it contains zinc. It's actually like a white cream. There's like a white tint to it, but it is very healing, and I find that it really brings down redness if there's any inflammation, if I'm having like any rosacea flare-ups or anything like that. It just evens out my skin tone, and I wake up with very calm skin, very even toned skin, and the redness is taken down. So especially going into the summer, this is kind of a must-have for me, and I do like to leave it on overnight. Another product that I love, and that's kind of a cult favorite, is the Chantecaille Bio Lifting Cream. This is another overnight mask product. You can also wash it off if you'd like. You can use it to prep skin for like a special event or something. This is something that I would recommend for like the 30 plus crowd or the 40 plus crowd. I'm 32, and I do feel like I really enjoy the benefits of this, but I know, for example, my mom loves the benefits of this even more. She feels like it really plumps up her skin and gives her really supple, soft looking skin. So another favorite for me, the Chantecaille masks are just excellent. Then we've got Charlotte Tilbury, and Violet Grey actually carries a lot of Charlotte Tilbury, but I want to highlight a couple of my favorites. One product that's entered my life and kind of knocked out all of the others is the Charlotte Tilbury setting spray. This setting spray will really lock in your makeup without making you look dry or cakey or giving you that tight feeling that some longwear setting sprays can give you as they're forming a film on your skin. This one doesn't do that. It just melts the makeup in a really elegant way. And if you have a hard time with cream makeup disappearing on your face, for example, cream blush, cream bronzer, that sort of thing, I would say try a layer of this, for example, after foundation under your cream blush. And then once your makeup is done, do another layer. There's just something about this that actually makes makeup very long wearing, and I have heard many other people say the same thing. It's an absolute essential for me. A more recent favorite of mine that you guys have seen me rave about is the Pillow Talk Matte Beauty Blush Wand, and I have the shade Peach Pop. I can't get enough of this shade. I actually like the matte version even better than the original blush ones. There's something about this shade that is so summery, and even though it's a matte formula, it doesn't look powdery or dry. It just means there's no shimmer in the formula, but it still has a very skin-like finish, and it's very, very long wearing. So I really, really like this. I'm actually going to be using this on one of my friends for her wedding makeup. She wanted a peachy bridal look. So yeah, I love it. I kind of want more shades of this myself. Mixing it up with some fragrance, let's talk about Dias and Durga. Dias and Durga has really risen in the ranks for me as a favorite perfume house. So my most recent acquisition is this baby, and it's called Sweet Do Nothing, and it's the perfect summer perfume. The story of the fragrance is timeless hangs, orange blossom special, rock tank swimming, cacti, the life. And I think it's just the perfect summer scent. So let me show you. So this is the bottle. This is their 100 ml bottle. I think they also do 50 ml bottles, and I really love this. I think I'm going to be wearing it all summer long. I wore it yesterday as well. So as it opens, it's very neroli forward. So it has that kind of musky citrus that neroli brings, and it's a bit floral as well. It's not very spicy, but there is a spicy quality to it. It's almost like a desert spice. And then the middle notes are Texas everbearing fig, so you get that creaminess. And the heart notes are Texas cedar, water musk, and creosote. Creosote? I don't know what that is, not gonna lie. But it has these woody heart notes that ground the scent. This is a very unisex fragrance. It's fresh, and it's so interesting because it sounds like a citrus fragrance, but it's not sweet or fruity. It's actually more aquatic and minerally than something I typically go for. But I really love it, and I think it's because I like spending time in the desert. I really like being out in Joshua Tree, things like that. And it reminds me of those scents, that mineral, aquatic, but also like clean air sort of scent. So if you're into that, I think this is a really, really nice warm weather scent because it's uplifting, it's fresh, but it's also interesting and grounded. I also have to say I really love their candles. Please don't judge mine because the fault is entirely my own. I left it burning too long because I love this candle. It's Big Sur After Rain. It smells like eucalyptus and rain and trees, and it's inspired by Big Sur and like driving along the PCH, and it is such a beautiful, clean scent. I love burning this when I'm in the bath. It's really relaxing, and it does give you that sharp hit of eucalyptus. So if you're looking for a fresh candle, a bath candle, maybe a gift to give, I just really, really love this scent. Back to skincare, let's talk about Dr. Dennis Gross, one of my favorite brands. I think all of their active products are very, very good. So any of their acids, their retinoids, their eye creams, they're all fantastic. My go-to product from the brand, and really one of their hero products that I've talked about before, is their Alpha Beta exfoliating pads. These come in a few different strengths. I use the regular strength. If you have clogged pores, if you have skin texture, any of those like under the skin bumps, blackheads, oiliness, all of that. This is a blend of alpha hydroxy acids as well as I think a little bit of salicylic, and it's a multitasker. So it's a two-step pad. It gives you directions. You apply step one, which is the active solution after cleansing on your face. You wait a few minutes and then you go in with the neutralizer. And for me, this is perfect for addressing skin texture. I find especially when I'm traveling, I get a lot of congestion, especially in the summer, you're wearing a lot of sunscreen. And so I really like traveling with these because they're very travel friendly, and it just makes acid exfoliation really easy. Especially if you're intimidated or new to acids and you don't know exactly what you're doing, this will map it all out for you, and it just makes it such an easy consumer experience. Next, I have a new to me makeup brand. It's a luxury beauty brand that I've wanted to try for a long time, and I finally am able to. Violet Grey kindly sent over a couple of things from them, and that is La Bouche Rouge. Based on aesthetics alone, it's a beautiful brand. They have makeup and skincare, and they have this refillable system. And it's not just your average refillable system, it's a very elevated refillable system. So let me show you. I have one of their eyeshadow palettes and a lipstick, and that's what I used today. Let's start with the eyeshadow palette. I picked up the shade Aryl, and it's probably their most neutral eyeshadow palette. They have 4 shades from light to deep, and these all have the beautiful kind of satiny finish. They're not matte, but they're also not your metallics. They're not glittery, they're not super shiny. They just have this beautiful luster, like a satin silky luster to them. I found that the formula is really soft and very blendable, super forgiving. It has very buildable pigment, and the swatches were very creamy, very, very smooth. And even on the eye, I feel like they blend out so nicely. The shades all blend into each other really, really beautifully. It's a great everyday sort of palette. And this is the kind of formula that's going to be very forgiving on more mature eyes, or if you have crepey skin, hooded eyes. Because the formula is so soft and velvety, it softens the area around the eyes, and I find it's really flattering. So I have it in the velvet case now, and the velvet case comes with a magnetic white compact. It's very weighty, and the compact holds the refillable eyeshadow palette. So even though this comes with a case, I feel like this is one of those refillable products that you could pop into another magnetic palette if you have it, or it comes in a red box with a cover. You can slide the palette out. So you don't necessarily need the case, but the case is really, really lovely. It comes, I think, in 3 colorways, and I have the camel color. I feel like it's very classic. The next product I instantly fell in love with, and it's their lipstick. The lipstick, you will need the case because the bullet comes in like a red paper tube, but you need the bullet to be able to twist up the product. So I also got the leather case, the lipstick case in the shade Camel. It's really beautiful, very elegant and weighty. And I am so surprised by this formula. So I got the shade Nude Brown in their satin lipstick formula. And this is so thin, it feels like I have nothing on the lips. It's about a medium pigmentation, but I would say it almost feels like a tinted lip balm with maybe 25% more pigmentation, but it's very buildable. And this shade is so stunning. It's almost this like peachy brown, but it's not very bright. It is like a nude peach. And I think I'm gonna be wearing this all summer. I think this is gonna live in my purse. I'm reapplying it now. It has a very comfortable velvety feel. It actually even feels moisturizing on the lips, even though it's not a shiny lipstick. It's not oily on the lips. It's most similar, I would say, to the Sicily Lafito Rouge lipsticks in that it is thin but moisturizing. I love this shade. I think it's like my ideal nude shade. So very impressed by these, really into this formula, and I'm happy I can share a positive review. Then we've got one of my favorite brands currently and of the last year. It's Make Beauty, and I do have a brand review. I think I have 2 brand reviews of Make Beauty. So they have skincare and they have makeup, and both sides of the brand are fantastic. I do have a few standouts, even though I'm going to mention a lot of things. You can check out my brand reviews for more in-depth reviews. For skincare, one thing that really stands out to me is I really love their oil cleanser. I think it's fantastic. It really breaks down makeup and SPF very efficiently, rinses clean. I also love their Succulent Skin Gel Cream. I love that it's named the Succulent Skin Gel Cream, but also it's a gel cream that's deeply hydrating. The texture doesn't get funny. I feel like gel creams are actually kind of tricky because they claim to be light, but sometimes because they contain silicones or things like that, they can pill, or they just kind of leave a film on the skin, and this does not do that. So this is what it looks like, and it instantly sort of melts into the skin, but it's not a very wet feeling gel cream in that it doesn't melt into like a serum consistency or a watery consistency. It feels a little bit velvety, but I actually feel like it's deeply hydrating the skin. If you're oily to normal, you could use this as your daytime moisturizer, especially in the summer, especially if you're congestion prone, or if you have dry skin. I have friends that actually use this as a hydrating layer under a richer moisturizer if you're into that. So that's one of my skincare favorites as well. Then I'm gonna highlight 3 makeup products. I really, really love their Diffusion Dew Radiant Skin Tint. I actually don't use it as a skin tint though. I use it as a liquid illuminator. You'll see. I use the shade number 2 today, and I treat it as a liquid tinted glow product, almost like Flawless Filter, because it does smooth over pores. It makes the skin look really soft, and it has a pearly reflect, but there's no glitter in it. It just gives you the most beautiful ethereal glow. You can see that's the glow that's across my skin right now. And it is stunning because it's tinted. It will soften any redness or even the skin tone. And it just has a beautiful blurring effect on the skin. I really love it. You can use fingers, you can use a brush or a sponge. I also really love their Skin Mimetic Concealer. To me, this is like a skin tint concealer. It's the skin tint of concealers. It has coverage, but it's almost this very like fluid, serum-y consistency. I actually like to use this all over my face, so I'll use it on my under eyes, but I can also apply it to large areas of my face and buff it out. It just has the most beautiful, natural skin-like finish. Not too matte, not dewy, stays in place. And it's really, really grown on me, especially for days where I don't want heavy makeup. I just want my skin to look fresh. This combo is really nice. So I'll go all over with this and then add this on the high points. Obviously, I had to mention the Serum Balm. This is their version of a liquid balm. It comes in a chubby doe foot applicator. There are 4 original shades that are a bit more sheer, and then they have the Serum Balm Intense, which is more pigmented. My favorite shade, or one of my favorite shades, is Anti-Gravity, and this is the most beautiful nude shade ever. It's very hydrating, very moisturizing. It's not super grippy. It does feel like a true liquid lip balm, but it's not a gloss. It's not like sticky, it's not grippy. But it doesn't move around. It doesn't slide around on the lips, and it's just an easy to wear product that adds a bit of tint, adds a bit of comfort on the lips, and they have great shades. I've lip swatched every single shade in the range in my review of these. So I'll link these below. I'll link the review below so you can have a better look, but you can't go wrong with these. I also use their Clear One Halo as a lip treatment just on its own because the formula is that good. All right, Necessaire. I might sound like a broken record with this, but I really love everything Necessaire makes. I love their body lotion. If you like a classic moisturizing body lotion, if you want something lighter, go for the body serum. If you want something richer, go for the body oil. I love that they're all unscented. They're great for sensitive skin. I can use them all over my body, but there are scented versions as well. When it comes to their scents, I love their eucalyptus scent. I also love their body wash in eucalyptus as well as unscented. I also think their hand cream is so good. It's rich, it's super healing, unscented, but absorbs and doesn't get sticky or like transfer onto things. Let's talk about Sicily. I haven't tried a ton from the brand, but there are 2 things that are kind of cult favorites within the line that I think live up to the hype. So the first thing is the primer that I use today, and it's the Double Tenseur Primer. This comes out as a gel consistency. It's like a fluid gel serum, but it has this beautiful grippy quality to it that makes makeup application over it so smooth, and it will hold on to makeup all day. It applies in a really sheer layer, so you're able to spread it out. And something that shocked me about this is that it doesn't make my skin more oily or more shiny. A lot of times with gel type primers, sometimes it can add greasiness to the skin, but this doesn't do that. It just makes my skin look like skin, but it will grip onto makeup all day long, like blush, bronzer, anything I put on top of it. It's almost like a magnet. Everything just like sticks. Not that it doesn't make it blendable because the skin looks really smooth, but it just holds on to makeup all day, and it's really, really good. People also love the Sicily Black Rose Cream Mask. They call it Instant Youth Smoothing, Plumping, Brightening. This is a wash-off mask that I like to use when I'm in the bath. To me, this is not a skincare necessity. It's a nice to have, but it just has that like je ne sais quoi. I don't know what it is about it, but it does make my skin feel really smooth, look bright, look calm. It takes down redness, and it's just a treat yourself sort of product. And I do really like it. It does this something, and I don't know what it is like in this. It's not like an active ingredient mask, but it just makes my skin look and feel really nice. Another one of my favorite brands is Surratt. I just think they make the most beautiful, elegant, sophisticated formulas. And I have been testing quite a few things behind the scenes because I'm working on a brand review. But I do want to share some of my longtime and newer favorites with you. First up is the Noir Lash Tint. I've talked about this for many years because it's one of the best mascaras if you have finer lashes, lashes that drop a curl, stubborn lashes, this is such a unique mascara. There's really nothing else like it. It comes out and the wand is almost like this metal screw, and you look at it and you're like, well, how is this going to give me mascara application? But somehow it actually separates, it lifts the lashes, it because it's so thin, I'm able to wiggle it into each corner of the eye without getting a ton of mascara on my eyes. And this formula is so black and it keeps my lashes lifted all day long. They are on full alert exactly the way they look after I curl them all day long. And it does not smudge. You do need an oil cleanser to get it off at night. It's not marketed as waterproof, but it basically is. And I just love it. When I don't have it in my collection, I do really miss it. I feel like it's so underrated and everyone I know that's tried it really likes it. I also really love their lash curler. If you have hooded eyes or smaller eyes, this is a really great option. I have to say one of my longtime favorites also is their Autographique liquid liner. I don't use liquid eyeliner a ton these days, but there are times where I need it, and when I do, I turn to this because first of all, it's a refillable system, which is brilliant. And second of all, it is a brush tip liner with the finest brush tip you'll ever see. I actually use their brown shade because I find it to be really flattering, but you're able to get these really, really fine strokes, especially if you have smaller eyes or hooded eyes and you need to get in those like little corners of your eye. This will give you that really fine detail work that's kind of hard to find. I've actually even had this for a couple of years and the brush has not flared or feathered or kind of splayed out. It's just as fine and pointed as when I got it. A newer favorite of mine is, it's not new to the brand, but it's newer to me. It's their Artistique Liquid Blush. I'm wearing the shade Parfait today, which is a beautiful peachy tone. It is not uber pigmented, but I kind of like that because I find it's actually very forgiving. This is this beautiful like peachy coral shade and it has a bit of glow running through it. It almost feels like a serum formula, and the formula itself is creamy. So it's not going to set down to like a matte finish. It's going to give you like a lit from within, natural flush, natural glow. And it won't do that thing where if you apply it, it sticks directly on that spot where you apply it to the cheeks. It's just forgiving. And I think this shade especially is really beautiful for summer. I love a peachy cheek for summer, if you can't tell. Let's talk about hair real quick. My most used tool for loose waves, which is what I did today, is my T3 Whirl Trio. So it is a curling iron, but they also have a wand. And this one actually has an interchangeable barrel. So it will come with 3 different barrel sizes. The one I go to for day-to-day is 1.25, but sometimes it's nicer to have like a more loose wave or a tighter wave, but maybe you don't want to buy 3 curling irons. I think this is a really smart tool to have different barrel sizes that you can interchange onto the base. So it's great. Also, I really like that my hair doesn't snag in any of the springs compared to my older, cheaper tools, where my hair used to like catch in the springs of the tool itself and like break or pull. That never happens with this. One of my longtime favorite brands, of course, is Tom Ford Beauty. You guys know I love my Honeymoon Quad so much. I love their eyeshadow, their wet, dry eyeshadow formula. I can't find it because I actually just traveled with it and my office is a mess. So it's somewhere around here, but the fact that I've had it in my life for 8 or 9 years, I'm on my second palette of that color story and I'm still traveling with it, should say a lot, especially for me because, you know, I do get to try a lot of new makeup. So it's one of my favorites. I also really love their blush. What is this called? Their Shade and Illuminate blush. And I have the Peach Poison color story. So this is a dual-sided blush. I actually think, Violet Grey gifted this to me last year. I used it a ton over the summer and I put it away for winter, and I'm so excited to pull it out again. This is the Smoothest like satin blush formula. There isn't like glitter in this, but it just has a really smooth sheen to it. And in this color store, you get a deeper and a lighter shade, but all of them have two different shades, either within a similar color story or a lighter and deeper shade. I just think the combos are really, really fun, and you guys have seen me use this on my channel before. It's a really gorgeous formula. Okay, this product from U Beauty, the Super Hydrator, has one of my favorite skincare textures. So they call it a moisturizer, but it's almost like an emulsion in that it's like a liquid moisturizer. So you pump it out and it's milky and it's very, very rich. So it spreads out, and then it becomes a little bit tacky and grippy, and you can feel it start to form this shield, like this barrier over your skin. This has saved my skin many, many times when I've overexfoliated or in cold weather or any kind of extreme weather, even extreme heat, when I feel like I'm losing hydration or my skin is peeling and I'm feeling sort of sensitive. This will just create the most healing barrier over your skin. So I use this as my moisturizer. I also have used it as a layer under a richer moisturizer at night if I really need it. But even on its own, it's emollient, it's rich, but it's not thick. It's not like a rich, heavy cream. It gives you emollients, but fluidity at the same time. And I really love that texture. The last thing I want to mention is from Westman Atelier, and it is their contour stick. I'm wearing it today, and I'm wearing the shade Truffle. So what I like to do is I like to take an angled brush and stamp it onto the surface to pick up product, and then I apply it to the cheeks. But you can see it gives me a chiseled look, but it's not too ashy and it's not too gray. There are 3 shades of this. So there's a lighter shade called Biscuit that I think looks really, really nice on fairer skin. This is a great summer contour for me. And then there's a deeper shade as well. I find that it blends out so nicely. You really can't see where it starts and where it ends. And it lasts all day. It's not greasy. It just has a really beautiful, like satiny skin finish. And I really, really love this shade. So I'm going to stop there. There are many, many more products I could name because Violet Grey carries some of my all-time favorites, but I just wanted to highlight some standouts from some of my favorite brands, and I hope this was helpful for you. If you have any questions about any of the products or even products I didn't mention, let me know in the comments if I can be helpful if you're making a decision, and I will leave, of course, all of the links, the terms and conditions, and the sale info below. So thank you so much for watching if you made it this far, and thank you to Violet Grey for sponsoring this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!